Picture this. A young woman sits in the courtroom. She's laughing, applying lipstick, checking herself in a compact mirror like she's getting ready for brunch with friends. Behind her, a family weeps for their murdered son. She doesn't seem to notice, or maybe she just doesn't care. But when that jury foreman stands up and reads those words, "We find the defendant guilty,"
We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter, a lesser included offense.
watch what happens to that smile. Watch it crumble. Watch reality hit her like a freight train she never saw coming. Because Alicia Andrews had convinced herself of something dangerous. She thought she was untouchable. Let me take you back to where this nightmare began. June 23rd, 2024, Tampa, Florida. The air is thick with summer heat, and something else, something darker. Charles Jones, better known to the world as rapper Julio Fulio, is celebrating his 28th birthday.
Everybody got their shot, put their shot. Okay, David. Everybody take that shit on 3, man. 1, 2, 3.
28 years old. That's all he got. He's hours away from his Jacksonville home, surrounded by friends, music pumping, drinks flowing. This should have been a night of joy. But here's the thing about Fulio. He lived his life in the crosshairs. He'd been shot at before, survived attacks that would have ended most people. His enemies were real, not just rap lyrics and social media beef. They wanted him dead. And on this night, he made a choice that sealed his fate. He posted his location online, told his followers to DM him for the party address.
You already got the address. Pull up, man. You got the address. Pull up. If you need the address, DM me right now. The pool party start at 5, 6 o'clock. DM me for the address or DM Fulio booking ESPN.
Everyone who wanted to find him could, including the people who wanted him gone. Think about that for a second. A man with known enemies, with a target already on his back, broadcasting exactly where he'd be? Was it confidence? Recklessness? Or did some part of him believe that on his birthday, maybe just this once, he'd be safe? If cases like this fascinate you, subscribe now to Women of Malice, because I publish new cases every week. The party starts at an Airbnb. It's packed, loud, alive with energy. But it doesn't last long. Police shut it down. Too many people, too much noise, neighbors complaining. So Fulio and his crew do what young people do. They move the party, find another spot, keep the celebration going. But as they're packing up, as they're laughing and planning where to go next, they don't know that someone is watching. Someone is tracking their every move. Someone with a phone, a car, and deadly intentions. Enter Alicia Andrews, 21 years old. She's not in a gang, she's never pulled a trigger, but she's dating Isaiah Chance, known as Good as A, and he's ATK, Anti-Terrell K. Fulio's gang, the Six Black Gang, and ATK, they're mortal enemies. This isn't movie drama. This is real blood, real bodies, real funerals. Years of violence between them, years of retaliation, an endless cycle of death. And on this night, Alicia becomes a crucial piece in the puzzle. Here's what makes this case so chilling. Alicia wasn't forced. She wasn't threatened. According to investigators, she volunteered, used her phone because it couldn't be traced back to the gang, used her car because it looked innocent. A young woman driving around Tampa on a Saturday night, nobody suspicious of that. She became the eyes and ears for the shooters, following Fulio from location to location, updating her boyfriend, sharing every turn, every stop, every moment. She was the tracker. The hunter helping other hunters close in on their prey.
She identifies herself. Because you're not really going to be able to see her face, but she says, yeah, I'm in that car. That's me.
Subscribe now to Women of Malice to see how the story unfolds. The group moves to another location. They're trying to keep the party alive, but the vibe has changed. Maybe Fulio senses something. Maybe he doesn't. By the time they reach a hotel parking lot, it's late. They're tired. The night is winding down. And that's when it happens. 3 figures emerge from a vehicle. They don't hesitate. They don't announce themselves. They just open fire. The sound of gunshots shatters the night. Screams, chaos, people running, ducking, trying to escape the bullets, tearing through metal and flesh. Everyone in the car is hit. Blood everywhere. But Fulio is the one who doesn't survive. 28 years old, dead in a hotel parking lot on his birthday. His mother will never hear his voice again. His daughter will grow up without him, all because of a rivalry that consumed lives like kindling. The investigation moves fast. Police have surveillance footage, phone records, GPS data. They piece together the trail and it leads straight to Alicia Andrews and Isaiah Chance. Both are arrested, along with Sean Gathright, Rashad Murphy, and Davion Murphy. The shooters, the planners, the accomplices, all of them now facing the justice system. But here's where the story takes a turn that'll make your blood boil. Because when Alicia Andrews walks into that courtroom, she's not crying, she's not remorseful, she's smiling. Remember that smile, that casual, carefree demeanor in the face of a murder trial? Let me paint you the full picture of what happened in that courtroom, because it's something you won't forget. Alicia Andrews sits at the defense table, and she's treating this like it's a joke. She's giggling with her lawyers, applying makeup between testimonies, scrolling through her compact mirror, fixing her hair, checking her lipstick. The victim's family is right there, tears streaming down their faces as they hear how their son was hunted and killed. And she's putting on a show. Her lawyers join in, smirking, making faces at the prosecution. It's almost like they're all in on some private joke, like this is reality TV, not a murder trial. But the judge sees everything.
Okay, all right, let's bring Mr. Jimenez in.
I need to stop right now, because you know what? You've been making faces throughout this entire trial. Yeah, you have been. And everything's been caught on video.
Defense comes out swinging with a narrative designed to pull heartstrings. They paint Alicia as the real victim here, a naive young woman who got swept up in her boyfriend's world. They claim she had no idea what was being planned that night, that she was manipulated, pressured, caught in circumstances beyond her control.
Alicia Andrews is an individual, a young individual, a young woman. She's well-spoken, she's mild-mannered, she's brave, she's strong, and she's a respectable young woman, as you saw when she took the stand. She is not a gang member. She is not a gang associate. And that was clear from the evidence in this case, from every detective that testified. The Jacksonville sheriff's officers testified. She is not a gang member. She is not a gang associate. She isn't.
Davion's in the video. You see him smoking and puffing, and Alicia wants to say something, but she can't because she's afraid.
According to them, she was just a girlfriend trying to support her man, unaware that she was part of something deadly. They argue that her presence near these dangerous men doesn't equal participation, that being there doesn't mean guilt. She was cooperative with police from the start, they say. She's being scapegoated, painted with a brush too broad by prosecutors desperate for convictions.
I want to start from the beginning. Alicia Andrews was asked by her boyfriend to inquire about an Airbnb. He doesn't say to her, Alicia, I need you to figure out about an Airbnb so that we can go to Tampa and we can kill Julio Fulio. He doesn't say, Alicia, I need you to go and inquire about an Airbnb so that me and 3 of my friends and you can all go hang out in the Airbnb. He doesn't give her any extra information. She's not around them to know what they're doing, what they're planning, what they're discussing. She's not. It's simple. That's on camera. Thank the detectives for bringing you that footage. Because if we didn't have it, I wouldn't be able to sit here and tell you that. So Alicia Andrews comes to Sean Gathright's home. When she gets to Sean Gathright's home, she doesn't go inside and say hi to him or his parents or anyone who's inside. She doesn't do any of that. She waits in the car, like Isaiah Chance tells her to do. And you want to know why it's so obvious that Isaiah Chance was using Alicia Andrews? I mean, but for like the obvious detective realizing that in the interrogation. You don't know why it's so obvious outside of that? They don't need Alicia Andrews. They don't need her. You saw the photographs in Rashad Murphy's iCloud dump, which has a bag sitting in front of him with a burner phone or a prepaid phone. These individuals know how to get prepaid phones. They go to the store, they buy them, like Rashad Murphy did at the Walmart, and they're untraceable. But Isaiah Chance put his girlfriend's phone up as tribute. And she had no idea what was going on. Over 12,000 GPS coordinates from her phone for that weekend. 12,000.
Subscribe now to Women of Malice as we get to the truth. But then the prosecution stands up, and they bring receipts. Surveillance footage, multiple locations, multiple timestamps. There's Alicia's car following Fulio's group across Tampa. There's her phone pinging off cell towers along the exact route Fulio took. Deleted messages recovered from her device, conversations with Isaiah Chance, coordination, updates, real-time tracking.
The exhibit where Alicia, 17 years old, says that Fulio needs to die. Did you locate this text message?
In their view, her presence and actions were not accidental or coincidental.
This wasn't a woman caught by surprise. This was a woman who knew exactly what she was doing. The prosecution argues that she was integral to the attack, that without her, the shooters might never have found their target. She was the scout, the lookout, the one who made it all possible. Now here's the question that splits people right down the middle. Does intent matter as much as action? If you help someone commit murder but claim you didn't know, does that absolve you?
Guilty of conspiring with these 4 men, and guilty as a principal to first-degree murder. And folks,
and what about Fulio himself? Yes, he had a criminal history. Yes, he was affiliated with a gang. But does that mean he deserved to be hunted down and killed on his birthday? Does his past justify his murder? These are the uncomfortable questions this case forces us to confront. Throughout the trial, Alicia maintains that smile, that disconnected, almost eerie composure. Is it a defense mechanism? Is she in denial? Or is it something darker, a genuine lack of remorse for the role she played in taking a man's life? Whatever it is, the jury sees it, the judge sees it, everyone sees it. Subscribe now to Women of Malice because the verdict is about to drop. When the jury returns, the courtroom goes silent. You could hear a pin drop. The foreman stands, reads the verdict. We find the defendant, Alicia Andrews, guilty of manslaughter in the death of Charles Jones, known as Julio Fulio.
We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter, a lesser included offense.
And in that moment, everything changes. That smile? Gone. The laughter? Dead. Her face crumbles. Reality crashes into her like she's been hit by a truck. The weight of what she's done, what she's lost, what her future now holds, it all hits her at once. Her lawyers aren't laughing anymore either. The performance is over. The consequences are real. Alicia Andrews is the only defendant so far whose trial has concluded. She's awaiting sentencing, scheduled for December 8th, 2025. She could face years, potentially decades behind bars. But her co-defendants? They're still waiting. Isaiah Chance, the boyfriend who brought her into this nightmare, Sean Gathright, Rashad Murphy, and Davion Murphy, the alleged shooters, all of them are being held without bond.
I'm finding that there is a substantial probability that all 3 defendants committed the dangerous crimes that they are charged with.
The courts view them as too dangerous to release. The risk of more violence, more retaliation is too high. Their trials are tentatively set for April 2026. Tentatively, because these things drag on. Pre-trial motions, depositions, discovery, evidence review. It's a slow, grinding process. And prosecutors are still deciding whether to pursue the death penalty for the defendants facing first-degree murder charges. The death penalty. That's how serious this is. That's the level of justice the state is considering. Multiple suspects, gang ties, surveillance evidence, phone records, GPS data. These trials will be long, they'll be complicated, they'll be emotionally devastating for everyone connected to Fulio's life.
that is Mr. Gathright walking out with a large duffel bag. And Isaiah Chance walking out.
But here's the truth that sits heavy in all of this. A man lost his life on what should have been a day of celebration. His mother lost his son, his daughter lost his father, and no verdict, no sentence, no amount of prison time will ever bring him back. Whether justice is truly served remains to be seen. The system will do what the system does. But the damage is done, the lives are lost, and the cycle of violence, it keeps spinning. Subscribe now to Women of Malice and let me know what aspect of this case disturbed you most in the comments section. Was it Alicia's behavior in court? The senseless loss of life? The gang violence that consumed so many young people? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next case.